Hi. I'm just making this video because I am upset, and you have to be careful about what you. I guess it's a little dark. You have to be. I'm speaking to myself, of course, that I just have to be careful. You know, I grew up with my mother, um, and you could say that she has. I'm not one for using. I think terms are have a certain usefulness, but I try not to get hung up on them. She has borderline tendencies. That's very challenging. Um, the unpredictability is scary for a child because a child, I think a child needs a kind of predictability um, and a stability. Um, and I never had that. You never knew what mood she would be in. You never knew, I never got affection. Hugs were like, it's weird how hugs were taken and affection was taken. And honestly, there's stuff that I don't even feel comfortable sharing because it's disturbing. It's very disturbing. And I'm still coming to grips with a lot of that stuff. And, there are stories that are untold that I haven't told anybody. There are feelings buried that, you know, haven't really been, have only been exposed to, you know, a little bit of light. Um, and that's kind of scary because for me, I'm speaking for myself, kind of once you start digging, it just, it's, there's a lot there. You know, I actually, I think Annabelle Lee, I think that's her name. I like that channel. She said something like the onions or an onion or whatever, and you keep peeling, or I don't know, like layers, or, and whatever that, I think that's a good point. It's like, not to, it's tempting. I mean, I try not to sabotage the progress that I have made. I think that that's important is to remember to be proud of how far I've come because there were times where I lost hope. Um, and I didn't see that a way out. And honestly, am I can't believe that I'm here right now and still alive. Um, because there were times I didn't know, I figured I'd die young. Uh, I still have that sense of impending doom sometimes, like I'm going to get cancer or somebody. There's just a thought in my head. I have kind of an obsessional type of mind of somebody's just going to come up behind me and pop me one. Uh, and it's just that feeling you don't know when the shoe's going to drop, I guess is the how to put it. Um, I live with my mom until I guess it's been about 3, 4 years. I'm 25, and I've been on my, I'm now at my dad's, and I was gonna. It's a whole story where I was gonna be homeless, and it's a whole story. Like I don't even want to get into it. And honestly, it's not worth retreading. Like a lot of stories, I probably won't even tell because it's like it's time to move on. Um, and honestly, it feels like I don't have to justify where I am. It's kind of a shameful, and I'm just going off a tangent. It's kind of a shameful thing to go and live back with your parents. You're in your 20s or at whatever age when but everybody is where they are for a reason. I'm where I am for a reason. And it's figuring out that reason and moving forward. constantly moving forward. Even when that's what I remind myself, even when I'm at rest, I'm moving forward. You can't stand in the way of progress. You'd be misguided. You'd be a fool to think that you can. Um, so, I mean, I made this video because I talked to my mother on the phone, and the mistake that I made is to make a mistake. Because you can't, once you dig a hole, once I dig a hole with her, she just can, she starts to dig and dig and dig. And it's not intellectual for me. It's not, once I get kind of triggered, I mean, again, I lived with this woman for many, many years. The wounds are still kind of fresh, and tender, and deep, um, and they need time to heal, because she will pick at them and get a spoon, and you don't want to know how that feels, or I don't want to say. I think I've had fantasies about just going. I thought about like going to like Canada or something and going on a train ride, or all these places that I want to go. And it's just kind of like running away from, I'm in the city where both my parents live. They don't live together. Um, and they never have. They've never been together. At, as long as I've been alive. And I'm in the city that my parents are in. I'm in the house that every other weekend I came to this house, and I visited with my father, who he drank and he went to the garage and he watched sports, and he went to work. He worked the graveyard shift. So he always came home late, even though I came on the weekends, but I don't know why I know that. Maybe because I came on Fridays or something. I don't know. But, Lord help my little sister. I have two half sisters, one my mother and one with my father, who are with my mother and father. And Lord help my little sister. The things that she has told me. She's out on her own. She's out on her own. I don't want to get into people's personal lives on this channel, other than what I feel that I is respectful to express. But Lord help her, and because he was a ghost to me, and he's still. That's a whole thing, It's a ghost. It's like a programmer. I don't know much about computers and stuff, but it's like he's been programmed, and he's just stuck in a program, and it's like just like a loop, or it's like a fixed thing, to where he's just going in circles, and all he sees is, it's like a maze or something, and that's all he could see, and he's so blind, he's so deaf. Um, it's honestly like sad. It's pathetic, really, in every sense of the word. I think. Have I been covering the mic? I don't know. Hopefully not. So this is kind of more getting into like parental stuff than I have, because there's a part of me that just wants to like be like, I'm totally over that. I'm totally over my parents, because they're so childish. It's so, the thing that I think about is how dumb it is, how senseless it is, how, and it makes me upset that it's like being in a cult and you're indoctrinated. And when you get out, you're like, that was insane. Like, you know, it's insane and it's crazy and it's irrational. It is, there's a logical part of it, but it just seems so bizarre and so unnecessary. And you know, you can start to get in the mindset of, I'll speak to myself, for myself, of the wasted years. I don't actually haven't thought about that in a while because I've been progressed so much. So I need to get in the shower. Too much information maybe, but you know, um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've had just a lot on my plate lately, and a lot on my mind, and a lot on my soul. Um, and it's like I'm trying to give myself a break. I went today and I got like some produce. I've been eating like junk food lately. The past, ever since it's been stressful, kind of living with my dad. I've been getting better at setting boundaries and saying no, absolutely not, and just that's a whole thing I can get into. Um, but I went today and I got produce, and I got it's like $10 worth of produce, sweet potatoes and tomato, and two big avocados and some kale. And I walked there. It's kind of a long walk. I don't have a car. I don't have a license. I usually take public. We have good public transportation here where I live, in the area that I live. It's really good. So I usually take public transit or whatever. And so it's like it's like these little triumphs that I try to, even making these videos, even risking